Welcome to the NFL Week 8 Honest Power Rankings. I am Curse Master Brandon Perna, and last week in a fit of rage, I broke the curse wheel when it cursed the Bills. You little... Sorry, Buffalo. And of course, Buffalo lost. Heck, this curse is so evil, Tim Tebow referenced me in his gospel.
And one of them would lose, and then there would be a man that would come out with a mallet and then smash his head.
You little...
So he was either alive, now he's dead, or he was dead, he was really dead.
And the curse of the number one spot, stronger than ever. Miami was in that spot last week, lost. The only team to be number one twice this season, the 49ers, have lost 2 in a row. So the curse is statistically as powerful as it's ever been. And now I'm just gonna fix this guy like a man. I wanna fix this curse wheel like a man. Just kidding, I'm gonna use flex tape. Yeah, that flex tape, and I'm gonna try and get this thing fixed by the end of the episode so I can spin the curse wheel to see which top 10 NFL team it curses. Maybe I'll put a little sidebar of me trying to fix this piece of shit so we can see what happens.
You remember God's highlight video? It's so freaking cool. You remember what he did for you?
Week 8 Power Rankings. Please, if you believe in black magic, curses, the evil devil, Satan, and things affecting your team that are probably not real, subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'll have Big Dick Patreon shoutouts at the end of today's episode, so stick around for all our new patrons.
What else matters? What else matters?
All right, before we get to the top 10, let's go to heaven. The team I'm placing in heaven this week, my Denver Broncos. Kareem Jackson, hard hits. Look, I haven't felt good about my football team for several years now. They play the Chiefs on Sunday, which also happens to be the day I came out of my mother's vagine. So, I am smoking a little false hope this week, and I am calling the football gods. I'm calling upon Tim Tebow to open up the end zone so my Broncos can
walk through it
and end the 16-game losing streak to the Chiefs. Kareem Jackson was unfairly suspended for 4 games for a hard hit, a 99% legal hit. They reduced that to 2 games, but Kareem Jackson is a good dude. He's not a dirty player, and it sucks that this is how the NFL is doing him. In hell, I'm putting Antonio Brown. He is the only man dumb enough to get arrested for not paying child support and then tweet "fuck child support" a week later. Actually, let me be fair. Do you guys agree with Antonio Brown? Are you pro fuck child support? You cannot brag about how much money you have and then also complain about how much child support costs, all right?
Everybody either puts a thumb up or thumb down.
And in purgatory, any team that still has to play the Raiders. The only way to tell if your team is truly bad is if they lose to Josh McDaniels' Raiders. The Broncos, the Packers, and the Patriots all lost to Josh McDaniels and the Raiders. They're all bad. The Lions are about to be tested. All right, let's start at 11. 2 teams I think are knocking at an opportunity to get into the top 10. One team winning because of their young QB. The other winning in spite of their young quarterback, the Texans and Jets. I think the Texans can legitimately make a playoff run, especially when you look at their upcoming schedule and see 3 of their next 4 games are against the Panthers, Bucks, and Cardinals. Now the Jets have the Giants, Chargers, and Raiders, so I assume they can win those games, at which point Aaron Rodgers will be fully healed in time for their rematch with the Bills. And then he'll probably get hurt again. Number 10, that's right, the Minnesota Vikings, who finally found the secret to NFL success, creed.
I've been involved in a number of cults, both as a leader and a follower. You have more fun as a follower, but you make more money as a leader.
Wait, that's not the creed they listen to before games? It's the, creed.
And I gotta say it, creed. Suddenly it comes on. We go to pray in the corner of the locker room, then you guys that want to pray, and so we had to turn the creed off, and Harrison Smith made a great point. He said, guys, this is the prayer. They keep playing higher, and I'm going, Creed has a lot of hits. They got a good catalog. I don't have to only play higher, but they're taking us higher, so we'll take it.
Look, Kirk Cousins tricking black dudes into listening to Creed makes me think Minnesota should be number 1 in these rankings. That's a Christian band disguised as a garage rock band that even at its peak was never cool. Like Creed Bratton, I think Kirk Cousins would make a lot of money as a cult leader.
It's Halloween. that is really, really good timing.
Number 9, the Falcons. Sure, let's throw you back in the top 10, Atlanta, even though you have the second worst turnover differential in the NFL at -7. Of the 13 touchdowns scored on the Falcons this year, only one has been a rushing TD. Atlanta needs to figure out how to get more pressure on opposing quarterbacks. Just 13 sacks this season. And guys like Bud Dupree, Lorenzo Carter, and Arnold Ibikiti aren't dominating the edge. They need edge help. Bijan Robinson didn't play this week because of a headache. Some of you think that means he's soft. Well, let me give you oral history. Another running back who used to suffer from migraines. Migraines so powerful, he couldn't see. Yet in the middle of Super Bowl 32, with the migraine blinding him, he was forced to go in the game as a decoy by his head coach, Mike Shanahan. That's right, Terrell Davis, Hall of Famer and Super Bowl MVP, won that honor with the migraine. Bijan needs to learn to turn that blinding pain into Super Bowl MVP strength, and the Falcons will be unstoppable. Number 8, the Seahawks. Every dang week, Devin Witherspoon just seems to get better. He's so good. He is like Reese Witherspoon. Just every time you think, they've peaked, they just get better. He currently has the highest grade of any corner who's played at least 50% of the snaps this season, per Pro Football Focus. He's allowing a passer rating 57.8 when targeted, and Seattle lines him up in the box, in the slot, in addition to the traditional corner spot, so they use him everywhere. And now you're officially cursed, Seattle, because you're going to sign Frank Clark to a 1-year deal. You're about to be infected by the Broncos losing disease. The 49ers traded for Randy Gregory, and he's been playing well, but they've lost 2 in a row. This is stupid. I can't believe Pete Carroll's not thinking about the curse. Number 7, the Steelers. The Steelers might be the new Vikings. They've been outscored by 24 points this season, and yet they're 4-2 and just a half a game behind the Ravens, a team they beat 2 weeks ago. Their offense for 3 quarters, every game, is abysmal. But Kenny Pickett has managed to win 4 straight games where the Steelers were behind in the 4th quarter. He's doing what Jordan Love can't do for the Green Bay Packers right now. It is possible that his hands begin to swell up to normal size after 3 quarters of missing passes. I don't know. Still, they haven't had a 350-yard game on offense this season, and they've gone 53 straight games without 400 passing yards. I don't see either of those things changing soon, and I still think the Steelers will magically win 10 games this year. Number 6, the Browns. With Deshaun Watson playing either terrible football or simply not playing at all, at some point, you have to wonder if the Browns should swing a trade for a veteran QB to guide this team through the rest of the season. Perhaps that could be someone like Jacoby Brissett, who was unequivocally their best QB last season and could probably get a 4-2 team with a strong defense into the postseason. The fact that they let Jacoby go to Washington was probably one of their dumbest moves involving a quarterback since trading for Deshaun Watson. The team is dead last in QBR and passer rating and still has a winning record. A big reason, I think, is Myles Garrett should not just be getting Defensive Player of the Year consideration, but MVP consideration if the Browns can grab a spot in the postseason. Number 5, the 49ers. Have you guys traded for anyone yet? No? How are you going to keep up with the Eagles? How are you going to keep up with the Eagles? Christian McCaffrey played through a partially torn abdomen and scored a touchdown for the 16th straight game. He is unstoppable. One more, and he ties the all-time record with Lenny Moore. Also, I'd like to point out that the 49ers are 0-36 when trailing by 8 or more in the 4th quarter under Kyle Shanahan. That's mildly concerning. So my question is, where the hell is Nick Bosa when you need him? Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, they're carrying their teams. Bosa ain't even on their level, and it's not close right now. Number 5, the Miami Dolphins. Fix your defense, Miami. Fangio's allowing 26.7 points per game. It's pathetic. The Dolphins' offense still leads the league in the red zone touchdown percentage at 77.8, but have yet to beat a good team. Number 5, the Detroit Lions. Don't get blown out. Just don't get blown out and don't let footballs hit you in the face. Number 5, the Cincinnati Bengals. They should make a trade but won't because Mike Brown. Number 5, the Dallas Cowboys. 5, by the way, is a spot for teams that should be playing better, and they're not. It's why the Chiefs have been sitting at 5 pretty much all season long. I think all of these teams are good. All of you have arguably more talent than the rest of the league on a per average basis. So spot 5 this week, just an orgy of mediocrity. Number 4, the Jaguars. It turns out that one little trip to London can completely flip your season around. But enough about the Buffalo Bills. The Jags are 5-2 following a 4-game win streak and should probably make a splash at the trade deadline. The Commanders didn't pick up Chase Young's 5th-year option, and I like him as a low-risk option this season to give Jacksonville and their pass rush a little extra heat on the edge. With or without a pickup, I love the Jags defense because they simply like to take the ball away. They have 16 takeaways through 6 weeks, most in the league, and 18% of their opponents' drives end up coughing the ball back up to the Jags. Number 3, the Ravens. Facing a respectable Lions defense this week, Baltimore became the first team this season to score a touchdown on all 4 of their first drives. The Dolphins, the Eagles, the Chiefs, the 49ers haven't even done that. I already talked about how good Lamar Jackson was in the Winners and Losers episode, so it's time to shine some juice on that Ravens defense.
Purple stuff, Sunny Delight. What's in this?
That's right, I shine juice. Let's make that a thing. Now, it's now giving up the fewest points per game. The Ravens defense this season at just 13.9, edging out the Chiefs who allow 15. So it's official. We're gonna have a Ravens-Chiefs AFC Championship game. Baltimore is making it really hard for teams when they get into the red zone. Just 4 red zone touchdowns allowed this year, tied for the best with the Buccaneers actually, and 7 total touchdowns on the season. Unless he stops banging 60-year-olds, nothing's going to stop Justin Tucker, per the NFL Network.
There's still some of those ghosts of Justin Tucker banging a 60-year-old.
Don't introduce Zach Wilson to your mom and keep your grandma away from Justin Tucker. Number 2, it's the Eagles. You got better this week after trading for Kevin Byard. Maybe a lot better. Every time the Titans send a player to Philly, it works out for the best for the Eagles. Safety might have been the one shaky position on the Eagles, and now they plugged a hole by adding a guy who was an all-pro just 2 years ago and is still playing at a high level. I'm not sure what kind of blackmail Howie Roseman has on the Titans front office, but I assume they'll end up with Derrick Henry plus picks by the end of the trade deadline. The Eagles have 169 first downs on the season, most in the NFL, and according to ESPN stats and research, 168 of those have come on the tush push alone. Also, undrafted corner Eli Ricks may be the next Chris Harris Jr. He prevented Tyreek Hill from catching any passes while he was covering him and has yet to allow a touchdown this season and a QB rating of just 46. And now he's got Kevin Byard behind him. And number 1, sure, it's the Chiefs. After 7 dumb weeks, we're right back to where the 2022 NFL season ended. The Eagles and the Chiefs looking like the 2 best teams in the league. 6 straight wins for the Chiefs, which is the longest winning streak any team has had this season. After all of the 5-0 teams lost last week. Mahomes has been sacked a league low 7 times. Sam Howell gets sacked 7 times during the fucking coin toss. So let me talk about corner Trent McDuffie for a second. He's having the best sophomore season of any corner right now, and that list includes Sauce Gardner, Tariq Woolen, Kaiir Elam, and Derek Stingley. He will miss a tackle every now and then, okay, but he has yet to allow a touchdown, and like I mentioned with Witherspoon earlier, Kansas City lines him up all over the place. And even though he doesn't have a pick this season, he's forced 3 fumbles. And oh yeah, Charles Omenihu came back in his first game, sacked Herbert twice, and recorded 4 pressures. That is a defense that did not need a boost, and they got a huge one. And we finally saw who this team really is, the Chiefs. A very well-rounded, pain in my mother titty fuck sucks.
Bow body.
Ass. All right, here we go. The wheel has been flex taped. Not a sponsor, but if you want to. Who are you gonna curse this week, wheel? I don't even have to touch it. The flex tape is holding. The flex tape is holding. Who we cursing? Who we cursing? Who we... Oh, no! Who is 10? Oh my god. 10 again? Yeah! The Vikings? The Vikings? I'm sorry, Minnesota. I am very, very sorry. And I do have Patreon shoutouts for new patrons. Andrew Gardner, John Dewberry, Ross Rush 10, Mile High Salute, Alex Dengate, Keith Zeppelin, Car Sausage, Car Sausage, Nicholas Halley, and W. Eden 49. And I think we're going to be a week late on the Patreon Zoom hangout. We'll get that scheduled for next week. I'm sorry, this week got away from me. So next week, first day or two in November, Patreon hangout for all $10 a month patrons and all $10 a month YouTube members. I will be posting that info soon. Thanks for watching the NFL Power Rankings Honest Edition here on That's Good Sports.